Hey, what's up, you HCMC Army, HCMC family, and moneymakers? Welcome back to the channel. I just wanted to share an update around HCMC and Philip Morris lawsuit. The case is closed, and there is a ton of information going on Twitter, in other social media platforms, so on and so forth. HCMC announced in an official press release about this particular lawsuit update and news. So in this video, I'll be covering that. We'll also look into what is next for HCMC. Is it all over, or there is any possibility or anything that HCMC can do to follow up on this lawsuit? What is the next step and where this can go? So we'll talk about that as well. We'll also talk about pros and cons if you are a shareholder of HCMC at the moment, and what can happen to HCMC stock price in upcoming days and in the long term. So we'll talk about all the pros and cons, all you need to know about HCMC as the stockholder. We'll talk about that. If you have any particular questions, write down in the comment section below. We'll also talk about there could be a potential downturn into the stock price, and how and where it can sustain and where it can go from this stock price point onwards. We'll also talk about the balance sheet, earnings, how much cash HCMC has on hand, and what can happen to HCMC in the long term. So watch the full video right before Monday so you do not really get panicked unnecessarily and you can make informed financial decision. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. This is only for the entertainment purposes, and I would like to share my research and analysis, hoping you can make informed financial decisions. So let's talk about HCMC. As you see, in last trading session, the stock price was down 20% at 4 levels. If you take further look into what exactly happened into the lawsuit, I did another video where I went particularly into step by step as to what the documentation on the case looks like, but that was announced December 3rd, 2021. Here is the official press release from HCMC. HCMC announces that its motion for leave to amend its complaint in its patent infringement against Philip Morris has been denied. Let's talk about what exactly they are referring to. They announces its motion for leave to amend its complaint in its patent infringement case against Philip Morris has been denied. As a result, the court dismissed the case, which is certainly not a great news for the stockholder, for the company, and HCMC Army itself. HCMC is deeply disappointed in court's decision to dismiss the case and is exploring its option for appeal with its counsel, the law firm that they have. So, if you're wondering what is next, there is a potential for the appeal. HCMC and their management is looking further into it with their counsel. It would not necessarily be an economical process. It may involve some significant lawyer fees, so on and so forth. And also, the attorneys in the law firm may advise HCMC what could be the outcome, whether it's needed or not, whether it's advisable or not, so on and so forth. So we'll wait further to hear back from what the company and their executive management decide as a next step. Healthier Choice Management Corp is a holding company focused on providing consumer with the healthier daily choices with respect to nutrition and other lifestyle alternatives through its wholly owned subsidiary HCMC Intellectual Property Holdings LLC. So this is their particular arm that manages their IP holding, and the particular company that is suing Philip Morris for the patent infringement within this lawsuit for the IQOS product that is owned by Philip Morris. The company manages and it intends to expand its intellectual property portfolio. The company currently operates 6 retail vape stores in the southeast region of the United States, through which it offers e-liquid, vaporizer, and related product. The company also operates ADA Natural Market, a natural and organic grocery store through its wholly owned subsidiary Choice Market Incorporation, and Paradise Health Nutrition Stores that offers fresh produce, bulk food, vitamin and supplement packages, grocery, meat, so on and so forth, which is the 18,000 square foot store location in Florida. The company also sells vitamin and supplement on its website, thevitaminstore.com, and the company markets its Q-Cup technology under the web segment. This patented technology is based on small quartz cup called Q cup. And we all know about this particular product, which a customer can purchase already filled by a third party in some of the region that can partially fill themselves with either the cannabis or CBD product also purchased from the third party called the Q cup. The Q cup can be inserted into the patented Q unit, which hits the cup from the outside without coming in direct contact with the solid concentrate. And the Q cup and the Q unit technology provides significantly more efficiency on the go solution for the customers who prefer to vape concentrate either medicinally, so basically for the medication purposes, or recreationally, just for the leisure. The Q cup can also be used into the device as a convenient microdosing system. The products are available on company's website as it mentions here. Now what this means is the company is going to identify the next steps, whether appeal is advisable or not. So that is the next step, immediate next step. Now for those who you missed out on this update on the lawsuit, I'm quickly within next couple of minutes, I may go over, I can't really go over this documentation, and I'll share what this particular order means. By this time, if you haven't clicked the like button, hit the like button so this video can reach to more and more people. Subscribe to my channel as well. Particularly this lawsuit and this order came on December 3rd between the plaintiff and defendant HCMC, as you see right here, and Phillip Morris. This order basically talks about the motion of plaintiff Healthier Choices Management for leave to file an amended complaint that they already did. Now, the court previously granted defendants, which is Phillip Morris and Phillip Morris Products SA, motion to dismiss. In its order, the court to file a motion for leave to file an amended complaint within 14 days, which it did on August 6th, as this document mentions. And what the judge found is, just to give you a quick background, the patent case about an electronic e-cigarette and how it is delivering nicotine to the user. Central to the case is the distinction among the traditional cigarette, e-cigarette that utilizes combustion. So combustion is a pretty complex process, as we already talked about multiple times on my channel, and heat not burn e-cigarette. And which is what particularly this 170 patent that HCMC has was suing actually Phillip Morris that they're infringing this particular IP technology and the patent that has been filed by HCMC. Plaintiff manufactured an electronic nicotine delivery device called electronic pipe. HCMC owns the US patent 170, which I just mentioned, that sets out the specification for an electronic pipe with a battery, heating wire, and combustible material. But all in all, what I wanted to go really quickly, you can watch my previous video to further go into more detail, but I just wanted to quickly go down to the conclusion that is mentioned on this particular document. Here is the conclusion. For the foregoing reasons, plaintiff HCMC's motion for leave to file an amended complaint is denied for this particular lawsuit. The clerk is directed to close this case. It is so ordered this 3rd day of December 2021, and here is the signature of the district judge. So this is basically the order. Now HCMC, if you think about what HCMC is up to, so I already talked about, they're looking into appeal process at the moment, which could be once again time consuming, lot of bells and whistles that they need to worry about and go into the appeal phase. In terms of what can happen to the stock price in the interim, you can imagine that there might be, it depends upon the sentiment, but the sentiment would not naturally be positive or in the upwards direction. So we may see some of the downturn. Once again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not a financial advice, but typically what we have seen that could happen. So it's up to you. Once again, I always talk about, do not invest your entire portfolio, or only invest the money that you're willing to lose, and all that kind of stuff is going to help out. And this was a risk versus reward stock. So you also want to consider, if you think about what could happen to HCMC in the long term, take a look right here. Their market cap is 136 million US dollars. So in the long term, plus they have plenty of patents, they have this business going on. Their revenue is pretty healthy as well. Quarter over quarter, they have been doing a little bit north of $3 million in revenue, as you can see. So in June, 3.39, March 2021, 3.47, December 2020, 3.23 million, and September, 3.35 million. The company is also focusing on lowering down their EBITDA and operational cost and overheads. One of the things that you also want to remember for HCMC is they have a pretty strong community behind it. HCMC Army is strong. This is an OTC traded stock. That's one of the con when it comes to HCMC. It's a great company with great mission with a very strong community, but OTC traded stocks have their own limitations. If the stock was a NASDAQ, more and more people can buy and trade the stock. That means the volume goes higher. If you take a look into HCMC right here, and if I click on the historical data, you should be able to see that their volume spiked up on Friday right after this news was announced. So in last few minutes, it just skyrocketed. The volume usually we saw was around 700 to 900 million on a daily basis during the trading session. That bumped up 4 to 5 times, as you see, to 2.6 billion trading of the shares HCMC stock. Now, if you think about what can further happen into the stock price, this stock price is already lower. The company has, let me go back, the company has a ton of momentum in terms of what they want to do. They acquired EIR Hydration and IV Therapy Center. Right before that, they also had the tie-ups going on. By the way, the bulb technology vaping cartridge is one of the IP that they added as a patent into their portfolio. Also, they have a tie-up earlier this year with ATG Pharma 6-pack solution with the Q-Cup technology and Nuhi brand to expand themselves in Colorado market. If you think about HCMC, here is their balance sheet, and this is what their net sales and profit looks like that I wanted to point out. One thing you want to remember is their total market cap is 136 million. Their outstanding common shares are pretty high, which is definitely one of the con. But one of the pro is the cash on hand that they have at the moment. I want you to remember this particular event that HCMC had June 14, 2021, where they announced the expiration of the rights offering. What it means is they had a right exercise total of approximately 27 billion shares of common stock. That is preliminary estimated, indicated that the company's gross proceeds will be approximately 27 million US dollars from this particular offering. These stocks were offered at 0.0010 per share, as you can imagine, for 27 billion shares of common stocks. If you remember, these rights were only open for the existing common shareholders, which means their existing common shareholders doubled down on this particular stock. If you talk about the last and latest sales, the company in 2021 quarter ended September 30th, they had $3.2 million in revenue, which is pretty equivalent to what they had last year, $3.3 million for the same time period. If you think about the gross proceed or gross profit, the gross profit is 1.3 million compared to pretty similar 1.3 million last year. With the expenses and loss from the operation, it was 1.05 million this year around. Last year they had 1.2 million. Which means they're focusing a ton more on their operation, bringing down their EBITDA. All in all, if you think about what the company is up to, the adjusted EBITDA is $932,000 compared to $693,000 last year. But what the biggest catalyst was this lawsuit. This lawsuit could have spiked the price for all the stockholders in a very rapid exponential way, which will not happen, but in the long term, the company has potential. Now, if you own the stocks, what to do? It depends upon your own appetite to take the risk. If it's a few $100s that you invested, and if you don't mind losing, you might want to go for the long run. If you have significant investment and if you're panic, we will see how the market reacts, but there might be sell-off that could happen because of the news. Remember, OTC traded stocks are mostly driven by some of the news, whether it's positive or negative. In this particular case, I wanted to clearly outline this is their unaudited, condensed, consolidated balance sheet, and this balance sheet is looking stunning, at least to me, because the company that has the market cap of $136 million, they have a huge cash on hand of total asset of 36.6 million. So think about it, they have a pretty huge cash on hand. 36 million is cash on hand compared to their 136 million total market cap. With cash and cash equivalent, they have 28.1 million US dollars, as you can see, and current assets 2.3 million. That puts them with the total current asset of 30.5 million. This money came from rights offering, as I previously explained, because last year their total current assets were 3 million, and now they have 10x more asset. Current asset 30.5 million, which is 10x than 3 million to 30 million. Now the total asset, as you see right here, last year was 11.8 and it went up rapidly to 36.6 million, with the current liability of close to 5 million this year that they had close to 10 million, 9.6 million last year. And with all that, their stockholder total liability and stockholders equity is 36.6 million compared to 11.8 last year for the same time period. The year ended December 31st. So all in all, the company has a very, very bullish, stunning, and cash on hand balance sheet. This balance sheet looks pretty great. So if you believe in the company for a long term, you might want to hold the stock for a long term. If you were just basically you were betting on this lawsuit, there might not be any outcome in the nearer future, and there might be some sell-off that we may see in upcoming few days. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, but I do a ton of research and I like to share all that with you, hoping you can make informed financial decision. I hope you like this video. Hit the like button so that we can reach out to more and more people. This analysis and research can reach to more and more people as well. And subscribe to my channel. I have been covering this stock for a long period of time, and it was pretty entertaining to see how the lawsuit works, what the company is up to, and what can happen into the patent infringement lawsuits. I hope you like this. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.